what is your intention for the intensive for like people that are here or even other people? So
here's what I've noticed so far since the book has come out. I've received some emails from people who have read the book, and it's very clear in their expression that the book did its job completely, and they're finished. They're finished with their seeking. And I'm always amazed to get emails like that, but it has happened several times. So for people like that, everything's perfectly clear, and this book, they say, is the last book they need, and that's great. So that's, of course, the intention that I had when I wrote the book, but my expectation was more that it would help most people up to a certain point, but then for further clarification, it's best if they work with me directly. And so that's been a larger percentage of emails that I received after people have read the book, that they read the book and recognized a lot, but they'd like to meet for some clarification and to make things doubtless. And therefore, I was doing private sessions online for people like that. And many of you have been, many of the people on the call today have been those people. So, and I've been doing this work for 5 years, and before the book came out, I was only doing private sessions with people, and up to 8 or 10 sessions each. Then after the book came out, it was about 4 sessions each. Now, after 5 years, I decided I think it's time I would like to move it more into a live situation where people can spend, in this case, in India, 10 days completely immersed in this work only, instead of meeting just once a week online. But it'll be 24 hours a day being immersed in the work, so that by the end of the 10 days, the recognition for everyone is going to be crystal clear. And everybody will be either doubtless or well on their way to being doubtless. I'm sure about it. So I think it'll be fun, and it'll be really powerful for people to come and be there in that environment, only doing this. Because, you know, as for most of us, we're engaged in our work, in our families, in our lives, and that's all fine, because this work is not at all opposed to any of that. And this work has to work within that as well. But to be able to take a couple of weeks off from that and just go fully into something like this, I think is going to be very powerful. The intensive is going to be 10 days on my beautiful rooftop in India facing Mount Arunachal. It's a beautiful view, and it'll be 1 meeting a day, 2 or 3 hours in the morning. And then I record each session, and then you'll be required to listen to that session, you know, over the course of that same day and evening before the next session the next day. So now you've gone through each session twice. And that's the thing, that's the important aspect. And so the first session, or the first few sessions, are going to be really about shift of knowing, coming to recognize your essential being, which is the beginning of the book and the beginning of the private sessions that I do. And it'll be me guiding a lot of it through inquiries and making sure, and I can see everyone, I'll be able to make sure everyone's recognizing. And of course, if there are any questions to make it clear, we can do that. But we'll spend the first 2 or 3 days just making sure everyone's recognition is very clear. I'll also be having, everyone will also get 1 private meeting with me. And that will be after the first 3 days, I think, so that I can meet each person individually and make sure that their recognition is clear. In a more, just 10 or 15 minutes each person, probably. After that, we'll move on to the next part, which is valuing what's true. And that's to see the value of this work, because in seeing the value of this recognition, once we come to know the value of what we've recognized, we find out that that's what we want. We want truth, because truth is, it's the end of a lot of the nonsense we've been, you know, believing in our whole life. You know, we come to see something that's essential. That's here and now. I'm already free. Once we come to see that, we come to see the value of that. It's in the book, but when we work together in person, I can help make it really more clear. And so once you've come to see the value of this recognition, then that's what you value. And that's really, that valuing what's true is what resolves doubt over time. That's the main thing about resolving doubt, just continuing to value what's true. And so then after some time with that, we'll move on to looking into this question of free will. Because obviously everyone is taught to believe that we have free will, all cultures, very much so in Western culture, but all cultures, and that we're the doer and the chooser, and that we create who we are, essentially. So is that true? Well, I say that that's a big troublemaker in this world, this belief that we're the doer and have free will. We'll find out, but that has caused a lot of enormous amounts of trouble in this world, and for ourselves as well, as far as personal suffering. So that we're going to spend some time looking into that and get to the bottom of that as well. Not in a philosophical way, because knowing it philosophically, anyone can say, I'm not the doer. Of course, we've read it in every book, I'm not the doer. That doesn't really do anything. We need to know for a fact that we're not the doer, recognize it in our own being for a fact, and that does something, and that creates compassion for yourself and for others, and an ease of being in your own life. So really recognizing that has a lot of benefit. And then we will, after that, we'll just really start, there'll be a lot more of question and answer after that, and just really abiding as our essential being, as who we are. And that's just going to settle it. We're just going to settle into being who we are. And it's going to become clearer. And you'll get to know, by the end, you'll know what being finished means, for sure. You'll definitely know. There may still be some straggling doubts and questions, but those will be answered if you join the weekly groups that are ongoing. You can come and ask questions whenever you like, just to answer any questions or allay any doubts. So that's pretty much the layout of the intensive. It's an intensive, so it's required to take it seriously. It's not just a holiday vacation to hang around. It's work. But there's also going to be a lot of time to just enjoy being in Tiruvannamalai as well, which is really a magical place in itself. It's a very unique place. So you'll have plenty of time to enjoy being there. But for someone who wants to come, you take it seriously and you'll really reap the rewards for sure. I feel it's very important to offer a continued ongoing support with work like this. So after the intensive is over, when people are back in their home countries, then I have this weekly ongoing group meeting. And maybe we'll have to add more. I don't know. We'll see. And the weekly ongoing group meeting is for people to get together, as I've been holding for the last several years. And people can ask questions and clear up any doubts and stuff like that. So it's going to be the intensive of 10 days and then ongoing support for as long as one would like to have that.